Hello friends, my name is Lalit Soni and you are watching InFocus by Drishti IAS. If you ask a layman that who gave us the independence, probably the answer would be Jawaharlal Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi, Subhash Chandra Bose, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, etc. etc. And if we ask how, then he will say probably non-violence by Quit India Movement or NCM, etc. But if you look at these answers look simple to us, but the process was not. Independence is a result of various factors, characters, personalities and events. When we talk about events has consequences. When we see there was events like Quit India Movement, end of the World War II, naval mutiny, etc. These events had the consequences, that is independence. But there was one more consequence, that was partition. In today's video, we'll be talking about the partition which has happened in 1947. We will see how this partition was done, who has got what and how it was done. So let's see how India and Pakistan were divided. There was these assets which has to be divided. When we talk about a nation has various assets as well as the liabilities. This can be movable and immovable. But ultimately when there was a division, these assets were to be divided, but the process was very difficult. But it was indeed done and we will see how it was done. So in today's video, we'll be discussing that how the British Empire or the British Raj was ended over here, and then the formation of the Partition Council happened. Okay, so we will see first that how the British rule ended in India, and then how this Partition Council was made, then the division of military forces, financial divisions and other assets, how they were divided, and in the end we will be concluding it, and then we will see a practice question for your prelims. Okay, now when we are talking about the news, why this was in news, so you know that we'll be celebrating 78th Independence Day, and beforehand we are talking about various events which has happened. So recently in when we talk about an article which was talking about the partition, in 1947 British Raj came to end in India, followed by a partition of countries into two distinct entities, that is India and Pakistan. Now when these two entities were built out of one entity, that is British India, so all the assets and the liabilities was divided. Here you will be seeing what followed was the difficult and almost impossible task of splitting the various assets among the two countries. Okay, now the thing is, how will you actually take an account of these assets? For that there was this commission which was formed. So when the Raj ended in 1947, you know that on 15th of August 1947 we got our independence. India gained independence on 15th of August 1947. Partition of India, actually when we talk about the British India, so at that point of time we had one entity, that is British India, and that was divided into India and Pakistan. On the eve of 15th August, or you can say on the eve of independence, there was this famous speech which was delivered by Jawaharlal Nehru. The long years ago we have made a tryst with destiny, and now time has come when we shall redeem our pledge. At the stroke of midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. That was the time when India has seen life, the new India has seen life, and we has got our freedom. But there was one consequence of this particular event of independence, that consequence was partition. So India was divided into two nations, that is India and Pakistan. There was this Radcliffe, Sir Radcliffe, he was given a task to divide the borders. When this division was taking place, he has got that idea that he will be drawing a line on the map, and then this is how the partition will happen of the borders. So that happened, and we till now has these border disputes, we have these legacy issues because of such events which has happened. Now coming to the next part, when partition has happened, so now we have to divide the assets. For that there was this Partition Council was established on 16th of June 1947. Initially this council was established as Punjab Partition Committee. Why Punjab Partition Committee? Because Punjab was on the border of India and Pakistan, and that is why this was Punjab Partition Committee, but later on it was converted into a Partition Council. There was various members, and the key members were Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Rajendra Prasad. These two people were, you can say, from the Indian National Congress, and then here next you will see Liaquat Ali Khan and Abdur Rab Nistar, who was later replaced by Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and you can say these people were from the Muslim League. Now this Partition Council had nearly 70 days to decide that who will get what asset. So basically the country's assets were to be divided into various parts, or you can say two parts, in merely 70 days. So in the small time, or you can say very only 70 days were taken by this council to divide the assets of the country. Division of military forces. When we are talking about British India had its own military, or you can say army was there. This was very huge asset for the company at that point of time, or you can say the British rule at that point of time, because you will see the World War II was fought by the British Indian military, and eventually when they came back there was this naval mutiny as well. All these events which has happened in 1946, there was this naval mutiny, and which has actually, you can say that, which was one of the factor which contributed to the independence, because Britishers at that point of time realized that now they cannot have a trust in the army yet, or without India's army they will not be able to rule India, and that was one of the reasons that they have gone for the India's independence. But now this army was to be divided between India and Pakistan. So what happens was two-third of the army was given to India, because India was a vast country at that point of time, and the remaining one-third was given to Pakistan. Nearly 2,60,000 men were given to India, and 1,40,000 men were given to Pakistan. Split of the brigade, like when we talk about Gorkhas, so Gorkha brigade was divided between India and the Britain, okay, because considering their, you can say, bravery, etc., Britishers also wanted to have them in their own army. That is why it was divided between India and Britain. Then there was these events of emotional departures of Britishers from India. Even there was various officers which were actually getting emotional at the time of partition, and when they had to leave from India, okay. Moving further, there was this financial division which was to be done. Obviously, this is when we talk about military is an asset. When we talk about force, then when we talk about finances is also a power, and it was also be divided. Pakistan received 70.5% of the British India's assets as well as the liabilities. Obviously, if you are taking assets, then you have to take the liabilities as well. Liabilities means the loans, etc. Okay, so here Pakistan got 17.5% of it. At that point of time, for the temporary arrangement, the central bank will be same for the two countries, okay. So RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India, right now we have a central bank, that is Reserve Bank of India. At that point of time also, the central bank of the time will be actually working for both the countries temporarily, okay. Then when we are talking about the currency, at that point of time, when we are talking about British India, we had the currency. Now since two countries are being partitioned, so the currency will be same for a time being, and there was this time which was given to Pakistan, that is March 31st, 1948. Till then, this you can say currency will be common, but afterwards you will see that Pakistan will be going for the new coinage as well as the notes or the currency, and then after that they will be using their own currency. But you will see that after even 5 years of the partition, there was this same currency which was used by them, okay. Then initial payment of 20 crore which was made by India to Pakistan. When Pakistan was created, there was certain amount which was pledged by India to Pakistan. Initially we have given them 20 crores, and then there was this remaining 75 crores which was to be given to them. But then Pakistan, they have actually invaded Kashmir, and because of which Sardar Patel said that until this issue was resolved, we will not give you any money. But after that, Mahatma Gandhi has gone for the fast, and ultimately India paid them 75 crore rupees at that point of time. So here you will be seeing dispute over remaining 75 crore rupees due to Kashmir conflict. Mahatma Gandhi undertook a fast to ensure Pakistan got what was promised. Later it was paid by India. Ongoing financial claims between India and Pakistan. Till now we have this legacy issue that till now India and Pakistan accuse each other that they owe money, or you can say India says that Pakistan owes money to India, and Pakistan says that India owes money to Pakistan, okay. So that was the consequence of this partition. After that, division of the movable assets. These are the assets. When we talk about movable asset, that means that something which can be moved from one place to another. When we talk about the monuments, etc., these are immovable assets, okay. So obviously they cannot be partitioned, but the thing is, movable assets, there were various assets like stationery, furniture, etc., which has been actually divided. Okay, here you will be seeing movable assets divided into 80-20 ratio. 80 was given to India and 20 was given to Pakistan. Included office furniture, stationeries, light bulbs, etc. Antiquities and relics has also been divided. Here you will be seeing there was this particular example of Viceroy's buggy. Here you can see this particular picture over here. This is the Viceroy's buggy and it is a gold plated buggy. So ultimately it was actually when the question of you can say division of asset arised, and at that point of time when the question arises that who will get this particular buggy, at that point of time it is interesting to note that this buggy was given to India on the basis of a toss. There was this toss that who will get this buggy, and ultimately India won that particular toss. Okay, and that is how we got this buggy. Okay, here you can see that our president is sitting in this particular buggy right now, so you can say that India has this buggy at present. Okay, moving further, there were other assets like animals, flora and fauna that was also been divided. A specific case of an elephant was very interesting, Joymoni. So this particular elephant was there in Malda district of West Bengal. Okay, you know that the Bengal was divided into West Bengal and East Bengal. Okay, East Bengal was basically your eastern Pakistan at that point of time. Okay, so this particular elephant was there in West Bengal. Okay, and this was priced at you can say same level of a station wagon. So basically in the exchange of this particular elephant we got an station wagon, but the elephant was given to Pakistan. But there was various issues because at that point of time the elephant was in Malda, and there was, when we talk about the maintenance of elephant, there was this issue with respect to the maintenance, and it was said that since elephant is being given to eastern Pakistan, they should pay for that, for the maintenance. But because of these issues, this particular division was not happened at that point of time. Then it went to the diplomacy, and bureaucracy has decided on that. So that was an interesting case of the division of that particular elephant. Okay, so dispute over Joymoni's ownership between West Bengal and East Bengal, that was there, which was later decided by the diplomacy. Okay, then coming to the last part, that is basically conclusion of this whole discussion. We have seen that how these assets were divided, why we had to go for the partition, and when we got the independence we had this option of partition which we had to take, and ultimately there was this partition and the division of the assets. What was the, you can say, consequence of that? You can say that a complex and unprecedented task. It was said that when you have to divide a country into two countries, then the division will take, when we are talking about the division, if that has to be taken place in the proportion. But the question is that how will you decide, how will you divide the assets which are not tangible? Okay, when we are talking about the tangible assets and the intangible, so you can divide the tangible assets, okay, which you can touch, but there are various assets which are intangible, then how will you divide them? So it was a complex and unprecedented task, but indeed it was done at that point of time, be it military, financially or cultural assets. Moving to the next part, that is emotional and the political struggle. Negotiations were marked by the disputes and deep emotional impact on the both nations. Till now we are facing issues because of the partition. Then enduring legacies. Because of the partition there were various consequences, and these consequences are still impacting us. Here you can say there are unresolved financial claims, and the cultural divisions continue to influence India-Pakistan relations. So that is about the India-Pakistan and the partition in 1947 and the consequences related to that. Okay, now moving to the last part, that is basically a MCQ practice for you. Here you can see who was commissioned to draw the borders that divided British India into India and Pakistan. There are four options which are given, that is Lord Mountbatten, Sir C. Radcliffe, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and Muhammad Ali Jinnah. So basically you can attempt this question and answer in the comment box. With that, I would like to take your leave. If you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe it. Have a nice day. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.